Ladies and gentlemen, there's a truth the world hides from you. Greatness isn't free. Every dream you chase, every goal you whisper about, carries a price. The question is, are you willing to pay it? Most people want success, but few will sacrifice for it. Greatness will demand your time, your comfort, your excuses, and give you nothing at first but struggle. But if you can endure that, if you can keep walking when others stop, you'll earn something far more valuable than success itself. You'll earn transformation. When you decide to walk the path of greatness, you are choosing a life that will often feel uncomfortable. You will outgrow people, places, and patterns that once felt familiar. You will be misunderstood, sometimes even by those closest to you, and yet that discomfort is the sign that you are moving in the right direction. Growth never happens in comfort. Comfort is where potential goes to sleep. Every great individual in history understood this simple truth, that the pain of discipline, the burden of effort, and the sting of sacrifice are far lighter than the weight of regret. Regret is the price paid by those who refuse to pay the cost of greatness. It shows up quietly at first, a small whisper of what could have been, then grows into a voice that echoes through every missed opportunity and abandoned dream. The man who refuses to face temporary struggle will one day face permanent disappointment. The woman who avoids hard choices today will one day realize that the easy road led her nowhere. Life always collects its dues. Either you pay the price now in effort and sacrifice, or you pay later in the currency of regret. The choice is yours, and it must be made every single day. Greatness is not a single act. It is not achieved in one glorious moment of triumph. It is built piece by piece, through small, consistent, often unnoticed acts of excellence. The great do not rely on inspiration. They rely on discipline. They show up even when they don't feel like it. They persist even when no one claps. They keep going when there is no guarantee of success, because they understand that consistency compounds. Each day of discipline adds a brick to the foundation of mastery, and eventually, what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Those who achieve greatness do not chase motivation. They create momentum. They do not wait for perfect time, because they know there is no such thing. They begin where they are with what they have, and they keep moving forward. Each small step, each quiet victory builds confidence, and that confidence fuels persistence. It is not talent that creates greatness, but endurance. The ability to keep showing up when others quit, to keep learning when others give up, to keep believing when others doubt. That is the true cost of becoming great. But the path is not without its tests. There will be moments of exhaustion where your energy is gone and progress seems invisible. There will be times when the world feels indifferent to your efforts, when success feels distant, and when every step forward feels like a battle. In those moments, you must remember that struggle is not the sign of failure. It is the proof that you are on the path. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Steel is hardened in fire and character. The very essence of greatness is built through adversity. The reason most people never reach greatness is not because they lack ability, but because they run from discomfort. They pray for an easy life, forgetting that ease never made anyone exceptional. The truth is, every comfort you cling to today becomes a chain that binds your potential tomorrow. If you want freedom, if you want success, you must first conquer yourself. The mind is the battlefield where greatness is won or lost. If you can control your thoughts, your habits, your emotions, there is nothing in the world you cannot achieve. Your thoughts are the architects of your destiny. What you believe about yourself determines how far you go. If you tell yourself that you cannot endure hardship, you will never rise above it. But if you remind yourself that pain is temporary, that growth is the reward of endurance, you will find strength you never knew you had. The great ones talk to themselves differently. When they fail, they don't say, "I'm done." They say, "This is part of the process." When they fall, they don't say, "I'm broken." They say, "I'm becoming." Every challenge you face has a purpose, to shape you into the kind of person capable of carrying the weight of success. You cannot have one without the other. Success without struggle breeds weakness, but success earned through struggle breeds wisdom, humility, and strength. Life will test you not to break you, but to build you. The resistance you face is the training ground for your future. Just as muscles grow through tension, your spirit grows through trials. There will be people who doubt you, who criticize your ambition, who tell you that you are reaching too high. Listen to them, not for their truth, but for your own clarity. Their doubt is your signal that you are stepping into rare air, the space where few have dared to go. Remember, mediocrity resents excellence because it exposes its own complacency. Do not be discouraged by their words, be inspired by them. Let every "you can't" become fuel. Your "I will." The cost of greatness often includes the courage to be misunderstood, even ridiculed, by those who cannot see your vision. As you continue your pursuit, you will notice something remarkable. The very things that once felt like sacrifices will begin to feel like privileges. Waking early to work on your craft, saying no to distractions, spending hours refining your skill. All of it will start to feel like alignment with purpose. Because when you are moving toward greatness, discipline stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling like freedom. You are no longer at the mercy of impulse or circumstance. You are driven by direction, powered by purpose, and anchored by vision. The price of greatness will also ask you to let go of your ego. True greatness is not about being better than others. It is about being better than you were yesterday. The greatest people in history were not those who sought applause, but those who sought improvement. They did not chase fame, they chased excellence, and in doing so, fame followed. The man who focuses on self, mastery will always outlast the one who chases recognition. Recognition fades, but mastery endures. You must also be prepared to outlast your emotions. Feelings are fleeting, commitment is permanent. The person who depends on feeling motivated will never achieve consistency because motivation is unreliable. The great ones act regardless of mood. They work through fatigue, through doubt, through boredom. They have learned that the key to success is not intensity, it's consistency. A little progress every day adds up to extraordinary results over time. Time, in fact, is one of the greatest currencies of greatness. How you spend your hours determines the quality of your years. Every moment wasted on trivial things is a piece of your potential slipping away. You must learn to guard your time as fiercely as your dreams. Spend it with intention. Every day, ask yourself, is this helping me become who I want to be? If the answer is no, have the discipline to walk away. Greatness requires focus, and focus requires saying no 1,000 times to the distractions that beg for your attention. As you grow, you'll realize that the cost of greatness also includes humility, the understanding that no matter how far you've come, there's always further to go. The moment you think you've arrived is the moment you begin to decline. The great remain students of life. They read, they listen, they observe. They never stop learning because they know that wisdom is endless. The pursuit of knowledge is not just about accumulating facts. It's about refining the mind, sharpening the vision, and deepening the understanding of oneself and the world. You will also come to understand that greatness is not about comparison. The journey is not a race against others. It's a race against your own limitations, every day. The question is not, am I better than someone else, but am I closer to my potential than I was yesterday? Comparison robs you of joy and focus. The only competition worth having is with the person you were the day before. And finally, you will learn that greatness leaves behind a legacy. The true reward of paying the price is not just personal success, it's the impact you leave on others. The great inspire not because of what they have, but because of who they have become in the process. Their courage, their persistence, their vision, it awakens something dormant in others. The cost they paid becomes the light that guides someone else through their own darkness. To live greatly is to live with intention, discipline, and faith. It is to accept the struggle not as punishment but as preparation. It is to understand that the price you pay today, every sacrifice, every moment of effort, every lonely night, is an investment in the person you are destined to become. The world may never see your struggle, but it will one day see your results. Greatness has a cost, but the reward for those who dare to pay it is beyond measure. The pursuit of greatness transforms a person from the inside out. It strips away weakness, exposes fear, and demands that every part of you be reshaped through perseverance. The process is not kind. It does not flatter your ego or make you comfortable. It breaks you down so that you can rebuild yourself stronger, clearer, and more capable than before. Those who run from that breaking never experience the making. Every great person has faced moments that tested their limits, moments when they questioned if it was worth it. But those who continued discovered something profound. The journey itself was the reward, for it revealed who they truly were. Greatness is not a title given by the world. It is a decision made in silence. It begins when you decide that your life will no longer be dictated by excuses or circumstance. It begins when you stop blaming the world for your condition and start taking responsibility for your direction. Every time you refuse to make excuses, you strengthen your will. Every time you rise after failure, you harden your character. Greatness is not about being born with power, it is about earning power through persistence. Most people want change, but few are willing to change themselves. They want new results without new effort, new levels without new discipline, but life does not work that way. You cannot become someone new while clinging to your old habits. The cost of greatness requires that you leave behind the person you were to become the person you must be. It asks you to shed laziness, fear, and complacency like a snake sheds its skin, and that shedding is painful, but it is necessary, because what you want cannot live within the limits of who you are now. You will find as you walk this path that the world around you begins to change. Not because it has changed, but because you have. The same problems that once overwhelmed you will begin to seem smaller. The same challenges that once frightened you will become opportunities to grow. When you discipline your mind, life bends in your favor. You begin to see that adversity is not the enemy, it is the sculptor that shapes you. The people who crumble under hardship are those who never learned to see pain as instruction. Pain teaches, failure guides, discipline strengthens. Together, they form the tuition of greatness. There will be days when progress feels invisible, when your effort seems unrewarded. Those are the days that separate the dreamers from the doers. The dreamers wait for ideal conditions. The doers create progress in any condition. Success does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who work, who keep their focus steady while the rest of the world loses theirs. Patience is not sitting still. It is the calm persistence of action without immediate reward. Every step forward, no matter how small, is an investment in the person you are becoming, and yet you will also face moments of doubt. Doubt is part of the cost. You will question your abilities, your path, your worth. But doubt is not a signal to stop. It is a sign that you are stretching beyond your current limits. Doubt exists only when you are doing something new, something uncertain, something great. It is proof that you are on the edge of growth. Instead of running from it, learn to walk through it. Replace your fear of failure with curiosity. Ask yourself, what could I become if I refuse to give up? That question has built empires, written masterpieces, and unlocked destinies. Every great story begins with uncertainty. The hero does not start with confidence. He earns it through struggle. The same is true for you. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in spite of it. You do not need to have everything figured out. You only need to take the next step. Each step taken in faith, each day spent in disciplined effort, pushes you closer to mastery. The person who keeps walking will always outlast the one who waits for confidence to appear. There is also a quiet cost that few talk about, the cost of solitude. As you grow, you will notice that your circle may grow smaller. Not everyone will understand your drive, your focus, your hunger for improvement. Some will take your commitment as arrogance, your discipline as distance. You must accept that not everyone will walk with you to the top. Greatness requires focus, and focus requires separation. It does not mean you are better than others. It means you are serious about becoming your best self, and those who misunderstand that are simply not meant to walk your path. Solitude, however, is not loneliness. It is a classroom. It is where you hear your own thoughts clearly, where you discover your inner voice, where you align with your purpose. Most people fill their lives with noise to avoid facing themselves. But those who seek greatness learn to embrace silence, because it is in silence that wisdom speaks. When you can sit alone with your goals and still feel driven, you have reached a level of power that few ever know. Greatness will also demand integrity. You cannot cheat your way to true success. You may trick others for a time, but you cannot trick your own conscience. Real greatness is built on honesty, with yourself and with the world. When you commit to integrity, you build trust, and trust is the unseen currency of greatness. Every promise you keep, every principle you uphold when it would be easier to compromise, strengthens the foundation of your legacy. Greatness is not only about achievement, it is about the kind of person you become in achieving it. You will also need vision. Without vision, effort is wasted energy. Vision gives meaning to struggle. It allows you to endure when others quit, because you see beyond the present pain to the future reward. Vision is what turns sacrifice into purpose. The clearer your vision, the stronger your resolve. People without vision are easily distracted. They trade long-term growth for short-term pleasure. But those with vision understand that today's effort is tomorrow's victory. They see what is invisible to others, and that sight sustains them through every difficulty. And you will learn that the cost of greatness includes contribution. Greatness is never self-contained. The truly great understand that what they build is not only for themselves but for others. The inventor who creates, the leader who inspires, the teacher who uplifts, all pay their price not for personal gain, but to leave the world better than they found it. That is the ultimate purpose of greatness: to serve, to inspire, to elevate. The highest form of success is not what you achieve for yourself, but what your example helps others to believe is possible. To pay the cost of greatness is to live with purpose in every moment. It means choosing progress over comfort, character over convenience, faith over fear. It means working in silence while the world doubts you, trusting that one day your results will speak for themselves. It means waking each morning with gratitude for another chance to grow, to create, to serve. The great do not waste days waiting for opportunities. They create them. They do not complain about circumstances. They master them. Every person is born with the potential for greatness, but potential is meaningless without action. Talent unused is talent wasted. Dreams without effort are delusions. The world rewards those who act, who take their vision and breathe life into it through discipline and persistence. You were not meant to drift through life repeating yesterday. You were meant to evolve, to rise, to contribute something extraordinary, but to do so you must first be willing to pay the price, and when that price feels too high, remember that everything of true value carries a cost. Peace, mastery, wisdom, strength, all must be earned. The price you pay in effort is the proof that what you seek is worth it. The struggle is not in vain. It is the evidence that you are chasing something meaningful. You may stumble, you may fall, but every fall will teach you balance. Every setback will sharpen your will. The journey refines you until nothing within you remains small. So continue, even when it hurts, continue. When the road is long and the progress invisible, continue. When you feel unseen, unappreciated, and uncertain, continue. Because every step you take, Every effort you give is shaping the person who will one day stand where you dream to be. The pain will fade, but the pride of perseverance will remain. Greatness has a cost, but so does mediocrity. Only one of them gives you a life worth living. Choose the cost that leads to purpose, to power, to greatness itself. Greatness continues to test your patience long after others would have surrendered. It asks whether your desire is stronger than your excuses, whether your faith outweighs your fear, and whether your persistence can survive when the applause has faded and no one is watching. This is the silent season of every achiever's journey, when the lights are dim, when progress seems invisible, and when the mind begins to whisper that it might be easier to settle for less. But those who keep going in the dark eventually become the ones who shine the brightest. The darkness, though uncomfortable, is where the foundation of greatness is laid. It's where you learn to rely not on motivation, but on mission. Each day you wake up and push forward despite fatigue or failure, you are training yourself to endure. Every repetition of effort, every act of discipline becomes another stroke on the masterpiece of your life. The small, unseen acts of consistency are the hidden currency of success. Greatness is not achieved in one heroic leap. It is built through thousands of quiet steps that no one sees and no one celebrates. But those who persist long enough will one day look back and realize that every small effort was a piece of the grand design. The cost of greatness will continue to rise as you climb higher. In the beginning, the price is time and effort. Later, it becomes endurance, patience, and the strength to lead. You will be asked to give more than you thought possible, to work harder when you are tired, to believe stronger when you are discouraged, and to love your purpose when it feels like it no longer loves you back. But this is the secret. Every time you refuse to quit, you rise in ways you cannot yet see. Growth is not always visible, but it is always happening to the one who persists. There will come a time when you outgrow the need for validation. You will stop asking the world to notice your progress because you will have learned that the pursuit itself is enough. You will understand that greatness is not about proving anyone wrong. It's about proving yourself right. The greatest satisfaction does not come from recognition. It comes from mastery. When you know you've given your all, when you know you've left nothing undone, you carry a quiet power that no praise can equal. But this level of mastery will not come without struggle. There will be moments when your confidence wavers, when your efforts yield no visible reward, and when quitting feels like relief. Yet it is in precisely those moments that you are being refined. The struggle is not there to punish you, it is there to reveal you. It shows you what still needs to be strengthened, what habits must be replaced, and what weaknesses must be overcome. The pain you feel is the process of transformation, the breaking of limitations so that potential can emerge. You must learn to welcome this discomfort. The great do not seek pain, but they respect it. They understand that the furnace of adversity is the only place where real strength is forged. While others run from challenge, they walk into it willingly, knowing that every obstacle conquered expands their capacity to achieve more. They treat failure as feedback, using it as a teacher rather than a judge. Every mistake, every setback, carries a lesson that sharpens wisdom and builds resilience. As you advance, you will notice that your environment begins to reflect your inner world. When your thoughts elevate, so do your opportunities. When your habits improve, so does your progress. Life rewards alignment. You cannot rise outwardly while remaining stagnant inwardly. You must continuously renew your mind, feeding it with ideas that strengthen, challenge, and uplift. What you read, what you listen to, what you speak, all of it shapes your inner environment, and that environment dictates your outcomes. If you fill your mind with doubt, your actions will follow. If you fill it with discipline and belief, your actions will reflect power and purpose. The cost of greatness also includes humility, the understanding that you are never finished. No matter how much you've achieved, there will always be more to learn, more to give, more ways to grow. True greatness is never arrogant, it is grounded. It listens more than it speaks. It observes more than it reacts. It knows that pride blinds progress, but humility multiplies it. The person who thinks they have arrived has already begun to decline, but the one who remains teachable continues to ascend. You will find that greatness requires both strength and gentleness, strength to endure the hardships, and gentleness to remain kind despite them. Power without compassion becomes tyranny, and drive without empathy becomes emptiness. The great understand that leadership is not domination, it is service. The higher you rise, the more you are called to lift others. Greatness that does not inspire others is incomplete. When you help others discover their own strength, your legacy expands beyond your lifetime. There will be temptations along the way, temptations to take shortcuts, to compromise your values for quick success. The path to greatness will test not only your endurance but also your integrity. Every time you choose the harder right over the easier wrong, you strengthen your spirit. Success earned without honor is temporary, but success built on principles endures forever. When you look back years from now, what will matter most is not how fast you arrived, but how true you remained. Discipline will continue to be your most valuable companion. It is the quiet force that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Discipline is doing what must be done even when desire has faded. It is showing up when no one claps, practicing when no one watches, believing when no one supports. When discipline becomes habit, greatness becomes inevitable. The moment you stop negotiating with your excuses, your progress accelerates beyond measure. As your discipline deepens, so does your clarity. You begin to see that success is not about luck but about cause and effect. Every action you take plants a seed, and every seed grows in time. The person who understands this no longer waits for miracles. They create them through intention and consistency. You cannot control how quickly the harvest comes, but you can control what you plant. And if you keep planting discipline, patience, and purpose, the harvest of greatness will eventually appear, often larger than you imagined. And yet, even when success arrives, the cost continues. Greatness demands maintenance. It asks you to remain vigilant, to continue learning, to stay hungry. Even when you are full, many rise but few remain because success seduces them into comfort. They forget that the same habits that created greatness are required to sustain it. Complacency is the enemy of mastery. The moment you believe you no longer need to grow, you begin to decline. The great guard their focus as fiercely in success as they did in struggle. Your journey will also teach you that greatness is deeply personal. It cannot be measured by comparison, wealth, or fame. It is measured by fulfillment, by the sense of purpose you feel when you give your all to something that matters. For one person, greatness may be creating art that moves the world. For another, it may be raising a family with love, building a business with integrity, or living a life of quiet excellence. What matters is that it is yours, that you pursue it with conviction, discipline, and authenticity. And when obstacles seem insurmountable, remember that they exist not to stop you but to prepare you. The bigger the goal, the greater the resistance. The resistance is a signal that what you're doing matters. Every difficulty is proof that you are on the right path, for the path of least resistance rarely leads anywhere worthwhile. The struggle sharpens you, the challenge matures you, the journey transforms you. The price you pay today becomes the power you possess tomorrow. Eventually, you will look back and realize that the cost of greatness was not a burden but a gift. Every sacrifice made you stronger, every setback made you wiser, and every moment of doubt strengthened your faith. You will see that greatness was never about reaching a destination, but about becoming a person of depth, courage, and character. You will understand that what you were really paying for all along was the privilege of becoming fully alive, of discovering what you are truly capable of, and so the journey continues. Each sunrise brings another opportunity to choose greatness again. to work when others rest, to believe when others doubt, to persist when others quit, because the truth remains unshaken. Greatness always has a cost, but to those who pay it, life rewards them with something far greater than fame or fortune. It rewards them with purpose, strength, and a quiet certainty that they have lived, not merely existed.